my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and I'm joined with a whole bunch of people. We got Halya, Nate, and we got Collecto6, Steven, and we got Matt. Matt likes comics, so I felt like I had to say it in some different way. So we're just gonna chill. We're just gonna hang out. I'm gonna show some books that I got. One book, actually, I can't really show, but can show. I'll show. But I wouldn't have gotten this book if it wasn't for somebody letting me get the book. So somebody tried to steal the book from me, but in the end, they realized the error of their ways, and
Nobody
they let
I
me get
know.
the book. Yeah. So, but and I also got some cool stickers as well. So, do you have the cool sticker too, there, Stephen?
I don't have. I left my stickers at home. Oh, did you get one? How did you do that?
These are collectible.
Oh, you got it from Bleecker. You got it from Bleecker?
Yeah. Don't say that because somebody might be watching. So this one is. I'm gonna get it graded. It's probably a 9.8, I think. I don't see any bends or anything, so
use some of your techno and blow it up really big, and then have it kind of. Oh. That'll please CJ. Thank him very much for the sticker too. Eyebrow fetish.
Are we going to have a long talk about the eyebrows again?
Yeah, no, let's save it for him.
The funny thing is, CJ has hair.
I've never seen his face.
He always hides
it in the videos.
I have.
Yeah, he's on one of the Bleecker
streams. Not a bad-looking guy.
Yeah, he's actually better than I would have thought.
Sort of.
Yeah. This is a great opening.
Welcome to Alan's channel tonight, where we're
discussing CJ
about the looks of other comic book channels.
We're throwing shade, ladies and gentlemen. We're throwing shade here. We hope you enjoy.
I'm not throwing shade. I'm being nice.
Vote for me.
Okay, vote for me. So
I had the chat turned off. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah. Okay. So now I got to say hi to the chat quickly. Oh my goodness. So we got a whole bunch of people in here. We got Cap and Comics. He was the very first channel I ever, teamed up with. He had me on his channel. Really nice guy. And Mark.
Hi, Mark.
K. Munin.
Hi, Andres.
Hey.
And we got Last Frontier Comics.
Hey, Last.
JSS.
Lettuce. I invited you, Lettuce, but I guess you're a bit busy. You're on the road right now, so.
Yeah.
Hi, Hagen.
And then came in again. Wait. JX.
Hello.
And
Hello.
Brian.
Hi, Brian.
And Halya. And then K-pop.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Katie.
And Kenneth. And we got one more. Rob. Hey, Rob.
Hey, Rob.
And Werewolf by Lunchtime. So I've been on Rob's channel, I think 3 times now, strangely enough. Good channel. I think we're actually competing on this one. So
I've been invited on Cliff with Comic next month.
You were saying, that should be cool.
He's going to be doing a Saturday morning show with him.
I thought that Wheelie showing books on his birthday and was hanging out with him and the other guy and Vogs and what's the other one, Kyle. And I thought it was awfully nice, and he was showing stuff and he was cutting up and doing his thing. I thought it was a very nice guy.
So that's Cliff Comics?
Yes, Cliff. Cliff. He's just right there. Cliff. Don't you see me? Cliff. Here I am. I put on bright colors. And he's unabashed, and very assorted. But I thought he did a solid there, and I thought he showed a bunch of books and engaged them, and everything else was a lot of fun. It was nice.
I checked out some of his stuff to see what he seems like an interesting guy.
Okay.
So you've joined the diplomatic corps, I see, Matt.
And hi, Lyle.
Hi, Lyle.
Hey.
So you're at the Peapod today, aren't you, Stephen?
I'm at Peapod I'm in the North Oregon coast. I am in a city called Seaside. I'm in South Seaside, And Seaside is on one side. Then there's Tillamook Head, and on the other side is Cannon Beach, which is the one they always talk about, has Haystack Rock, and everyone's always talking about Cannon Beach this and Cannon Beach that, and they're just a little bit Reggie Upsnoot over there in Cannon Beach. Here at Seaside, we're much more carny folk.
Awesome. I'll be watching that, Rob.
That's cool. So yeah, so I guess he's getting around. So by the way, some package arrived today for me. Ooh, it's really heavy actually. Do you know what this is, right?
It's a
This is
sandwich
the Monday
box.
show. This is going to be on the Monday show. I'm going to unbox.
Oh,
that
yes,
on the
I
Monday
do know
show.
what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Wham bam, kablam.
Yeah, that's the big one. So if
I
anyone
will
watched my video today, I was showing my top 10 pickups for the year. That's the number one in that box.
Yeah, once I started jogging my memory, it was pretty easy to do one. I've recorded
Yeah.
one. And it's going to come out
Why
tomorrow.
do I remember more than you do, Matt? What you picked up? I was
Because
like,
my,
you picked up this, you picked up this, you know.
yeah,
My
I know,
whole-
but my memory's in a different place right now.
Okay.
My whole
Yeah.
day has been I bought a fancy light. I have a 4x4 post out front that was to be mail, but I have all my mail delivered to my Portland address. I don't want to get
Mhm.
mail down here. It all goes up there. When I'm down here, I don't want any of that jazz to have to deal with. So I
Mhm.
put a fancy light onto the post that had I'm not familiar with how they do this. It's called hammered glass.
Okay.
And anyway, but it's got all these molded, crenellated things like that. It's solar powered. And at nighttime, it throws this beautiful pattern down onto the ground. It's got all kind of sculpted and everything. Really cool, pretty.
Mhm.
Well, anyway, I came down. We came down here, and someone just stole it right off the top of the post.
Oh.
Stole it.
Oh, wow.
So I spent the day going. I had to go to Home Depot in Warrenton, which is about 12 miles
That's easy.
away. Hi, Sue. We ended up. I ended up. Incredibly, they still had them, so I bought two. And then I asked the guy, I want to glue this thing on so they can't get it. You know, it won't go away. And so they came up with this Gorilla Glue adhesive constructions concrete, and when it goes on, it ain't going off. And fortunately, the bracket that holds it has two screws that go down in. It isn't on the side, so someone could unscrew it and then take it. It goes
Okay.
right down from the
Into the
top,
posts.
and then I glued all around there. And there's a square peg the thing goes into, and so I nailed that sucker down. So they're gonna. I just hope someone doesn't want to get a matching pair, but they're gonna have
Well,
to
what
tear.
you got to do is make like some kind of
Get it.
booby trap. That,
Well,
you know,
why? But the thing is, all it takes is one crummy person to do something like that. Everybody down here is so nice, but all it takes is one. The guy was probably traveling home to Canada. But anyway, so they decided they had to have it, and then that was that. So I've been shagging all over doing that stuff today. But I feel better now because the job is done. But when you come down, you know, you always have all these various jobs to do. The gardeners came today, and the place is just immaculate. And then across the street, which is where the various plants, there's a park. Yes, it was. I knew it was you. Across the street is a state park between us and the ocean. It's very narrow. And as a result, no one can build across the street. So I always have line of sight. And I'm just about, I can throw a rock and hit the ocean. But I'm on the other side of the street, which means I'm not beachfront. I'm beach view, which is half as much for taxes.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
So that's the story there. And Marky Mapo is the guy that's right up here. That's Marky Mapo. I love my I love my Mapo.
Love my Mapo.
You Canadians probably have never heard of what Mapo is, have you? I didn't think so. That's from the 50s. I
only heard of it because of you.
It's kind of strange. He said, and he had ears like this.
By the way, Cliff is here.
Hello, Cliff.
Is Cliff in the chat?
Cliff's in the chat.
Hi, Cliff. Yeah.
So anyway, that's a day in the life here at the beach.
Your wife is like.
That's my wife. That's my
Yeah,
wife.
she's on your side supposedly.
That
Um,
she's and
hey,
that's when she's
hey,
on my
Steve.
side.
Hey, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Okay, so how about we show some books before we lose the audience? As
Go ahead,
some
Alan. Lead
person
off.
said.
Lead on, McDuff.
Okay. Usually I let my guests go first, but I guess I'll go first. Sure. So I actually going to show a small unboxing, very small. This is stuff that I got from Bleecker. So Bleecker sent me some books. So this was the freebie. This is an AOK that he sent.
Very
It's
nice.
Batman 440.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
book I
part.
don't have in my collection.
Yeah, that's part of the first Tim Drake as Tim Drake storyline. That's the Lonely Places Down. That's where Tim Drake introduced himself.
Yeah, but it's actually signed. Can you see that? Or
Cool.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is.
can you actually read who the signature is? I can't even tell who it is.
I could give you a guess if you go down further to see where I can see the
So
names.
there's Perez
Yeah.
and a whole bunch of Wolfman and
Aparo.
Okay, that looks like go back up. If I recall correctly, that looks like Batman Jim. No, it's not Aparo. I don't know.
I
That's
don't know
hard.
either. Yeah, that's a weird one.
Because that doesn't look like Perez's at all. And
it blends
certainly,
into the communion. You're right. I couldn't read
Yeah.
it. I was like, thank you. It's nice. It looks like something Nord.
wonder if it's
Can we-
Marv Wolfman. He's the writer.
Oh,
right?
wait. What? Yes, maybe it is Marv Wolfman because the first thing looks like Merv.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that's an M.
Yeah.
A.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that's a real weird looking W in the bottom.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. So it's Marv Wolfman. Okay.
Well, that's really cool.
That would
Yes.
be really cool.
I don't know. I thought that was cool.
I
So,
love the fact that Marv Wolfman got the comic code changed because of his last name.
Oh, what?
Because of the comic code, they gave him the flack when he first started signing his book, like written by Marv Wolfman.
Oh, because he's a wolf. Wolfman?
Because Wolfman was one of the banned words.
Yeah, because it's like Halloweeny kind of things. They always
Yeah.
ban all the.
So they had an argument saying this is the creator's name, and he had to go down and show his ID to the CC
Oh wow, that's kind
comic
of
code
funny.
people. So they made a slight change to say when the person's name is
Something that he's allowed to get away with it.
Yes.
Well, the script is George Perez, and he co-plotted with Marv Wolfman,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
the art is done by Jim Aparo.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
Mike DiCarlo.
is Mike
Adrian Roy-
DiCarlo related to Dan DiCarlo?
I do not know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, just seems kind of like,
Mhm.
not that common of a name, I would say. Okay, so that's the first book. That was the freebie. And then this is one of the ones I ordered. Quantum Leap.
Do you know
You
who
guys-
did the cover? Do you know who did the cover for that 440?
No.
George
Actually-
Perez.
Oh, I would have guessed George
I would say
Perez.
it was
Yeah,
Perez.
actually, it
Oh,
is,
I would
yeah,
have
you can
guessed
see-
George Perez. That's my
No,
friend.
I
Alan.
would have guessed just
I
because
knew that.
Perez is one of the names right there. And
I
it's
see.
right
I
there.
knew right off the bat it wasn't. I knew right off the bat it wasn't Aparo because Aparo is very distinctive as well. So
Well, another reason I would have guessed that it was Perez is Perez does a lot of details, and this building has like a lot of detail.
Yeah.
So yeah. Quantum Leap. I actually liked Quantum Leap. That was quite good.
I
I love
understand.
the TV show.
Hi, who dat? Whatever
Dad.
I'm saying.
I would add. I understand that book has been jumping around places and hasn't really found a home.
Oh, this one?
Yes.
Hi, Biggie.
He's making
Um,
a joke about the show, Alan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's gotta keep on switching bodies.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I actually like that show. Okay, so this one I'm not sure if I should show it or not. Okay, so I'm gonna show it, but PG-13 elements not here. Okay, so this is the one that was behind Bleecker. And I said, "Oh, what's that book behind you there, Bleecker?" And I'll probably, I'm interested in it. And then some person who shall not be named, that maybe rhymes with Collecto 6, mentioned that they wanted to just buy it. They were just going to buy it. And yeah, so I was like, everyone was like joking, "Oh, Alan, we always steal from Alan's cart." And
I remember the jokes.
yes, and then but that person felt guilty later, and they even called
No,
me
I
and said,
didn't. My wife told me that it was a cheap thing to do, and she said, "Don't be so mean to Alan," and she jumped me for it. And I said, "I don't want him to think that way of me. I would never do anything like that to poor Alan." And
"Oh,
so
okay."
I called Bleecker and I said, "Please offer it to Alan first." And he said,
And
"I will
that's
do it." And he says, "That's very nice of you."
okay. So yeah, so that's how I got that book. So that's what I ordered from Bleecker. Yeah. So that was it. That it's not a huge unboxing. It's just a small unboxing. But it's like that's it, guys. So but I have other things to show. I was it for that one. Okay,
Cool.
so who wants to go next?
Go ahead. Oh, yeah.
Me?
Go ahead,
Okay.
Nate.
All right.
Yeah, I guess you're like sort of the next person over.
Okay. So I've got quite a lot sitting over here. I'm just going to throw a couple up here. Like a brand new book just came out, and I think I saw Matt got this.
Yes.
Ginny Sparks one. It's DC
It's in my
Black
pile
Label.
to show too. Can you show me too so we can do twinsies?
Oh, well, I'll show everybody. I don't know how to make it just the two of you.
There it is.
So did that just come out this week?
Last week.
Was it last week?
Last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't make it up to the shop every week, but I mean, I love the Ginny Sparks character from The Authority. I mean, spoiler, she's supposed to be dead, and they don't tell you how she's alive in this at all. So I don't know where this falls in continuity. And
I just recorded a short today. It's going to be a book. I really like it.
I do too, but I really hope it's not within continuity for selfish reasons. What they do with Captain Atom, like if this is his character now is like a crazy murderer, I'm not into it. But I like that idea because the history of Captain Atom is that he was a Vietnam veteran.
No,
he was accused of crimes and he didn't do them, and then the army says, "Hey, we'll make you a deal. We won't send you to military prison if you let us cover you with this alien shell and then drop an atomic bomb on you." And when they do that, it sends him like it sends him. Well, the book was in the mid '80s, and it sends him like into 1988, which is when the book had started. And when he gets there, his wife has moved on from him. His kids are grown up, and he has no one but the army. And they, of course, have him doing all this shady black ops stuff that he's not into. And so that's where the conflict for his character comes from. And I really liked it.
This is Captain Atom?
Yes, Captain Atom.
You know the original Captain Atom, what his origin is?
From Charleston? I don't.
Charlton?
Yeah, I don't.
He, Captain Atom was one of the guys working on a rocket, and he is this brilliant guy, very brave and very resourceful, great guy. And unfortunately, the rocket took off, and then it was a test of the atomic bomb, and it blew up. And then, incredibly, he wasn't killed. He basically, his atoms came back together, and then he came all the way back and landed back on Earth, and he's completely irradiated with the power of an atomic bomb in him. And then they have to put this special suit on him because he's radiating all this gamma rays and everything else he's radiating. But he can do, I mean, an amazing amount of stuff. It's a great origin. And actually, if you go on my wall, it's Space Adventures 33, I think it is. It's a red cover.
Yeah, that's right. And you can get a trip to Disney World.
Very, very collectible book, actually.
Cool. Well, I mean, my Captain Atom is the guy with, he's supposed to have blue boots, I think, but I'll still take it as long as he's got the shiny silver shell. And so anyway, I liked that. I understand why people wouldn't if
I put
big
her
Captain
first
Atom fans.
appearance in my my cart. Yes.
Oh, really?
Which
What's
version?
the first appearance?
Which first version? First.
The one that's from the Authority.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I think this one is new this week. This is X Factor number
I
one.
think that was
and
last week or a week.
Was it last
2
week?
weeks ago, yeah.
Well, I'm not an X reader, but I really like this author, Mark Russell, and this is a really funny take on an X-Men team. Like, they're put together by TikTok. It's like they have different
wow.
names for it, but it is a very snarky micro, modern marketing type of thing, and the whole team is just kind of a joke. And it looks like they're going to be killing a lot of people on this team and then just immediately bringing new people in. And it's like
Suicide
social
Squad.
media crash and burn. A lot of humor in it.
Squad, yeah. Arm fall off boy from the movie.
And then I can show this real quick. This isn't a comic. I mean, it is, but it's the hardcover collection, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, by Tom King, which is one of my favorite stories that I've read, kind of recently. And this hardcover is awesome because it's got like all the alternate art for the covers in it. And there's a lot of really good covers done for this series. And I just really, really liked this. I'll tell you, the story reminds me a lot of the John Wayne movie True Grit.
Yes. Yes, a lot of people have said that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
I really like it. Like,
keep in mind that this is the story that the Supergirl movie is going to be based on.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I know. I'm so excited because it really was good.
Yeah, see, I've got it all in floppy, so I didn't bother buying the.
Yeah, I want it, but it's been expensive and kind of hard to find. And this I got on in stock trades, and it was just a good price. I mean, I think I paid $30 for a $50 hardcover.
Oh,
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would have.
That's some recent pickups. I do have some other stuff, but I'll save it for another round.
Okay.
So Nate, behind you is the thing that says "Sweet Dreams, baby."
Yes, that's
Dreams, baby.
Okay. That's weird. So, hold on.
How did you even see that?
Yeah.
I totally didn't see that.
So he's stalking me. I think, Steven, isn't this from like a Golden Age Superman or something? Or is it?
If it wasn't, it should be. That, I mean, they always had something. They'd say some little thing when they're knocking someone out.
Yeah.
Say, hubba hubba, or
I'm not 100%, but if you know the pop artist Lichtenstein,
yes.
he did the the 4-color dot series that he had. I'm pretty sure this is one of his pieces, and I assumed that it was modeled after a real Golden Age comic. But this
it looks very Golden Age thing with the power.
Yeah. This is a ceramic tile that's handmade. I think I found it at a Goodwill, and I think it's someone's art project. And I was like, there's no way I'm not going to pick that up. It's so weird. It's just so weird. And like I said, I'm almost positive it's a Roy Lichtenstein inspired piece. But yeah, I don't know what it's from, but I think it's really cool, and I've always liked it, and it's something that I've had back here.
You have one of the most eclectic back walls I've ever seen. It's fun.
The filing cabinet and
stuff.
Yeah. That is a cool thing, but it's no Quieter Papa Spank.
Elf and Klingons and Superman.
Yeah,
and Batman. Someone from Star Trek. Looks like the Dazzler. Yeah,
I do have it.
You got cool stuff.
Thanks, man. I mean, that's only the piece I've got up here. You should see the toy shelves downstairs. Collecting is not just a problem with comics with me.
What toys do you collect?
My favorite line are the NECA ones that just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They're usually about $40 each, but the detail on them is just amazing. And then I get a lot of McFarlane stuff too, because McFarlane has the DC license. So like they just did a Kilowog and Kyle Rayner 2-pack, and the Kilowog is awesome. It's so big. And yeah, so I mean, just if it piques my interest, I grab it. And I have a ton of the vintage Star Trek line.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and those are great because they're cheap, man. You can find those like on the card for $5 each.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I mean they're anywhere. There's a toy store locally close to me, about an hour away, that I go to, and they literally have, I mean, probably 1 to 200 on card, hanging on pegs, and just a big sign that says $5 each.
Oh,
They're,
wow.
they're just a
So
glut.
did you buy the whole set? Or?
No, I'm running out of room. It sucks because I want to put all the bridge crews together, you know, the original
Yeah,
series and
that'd be
next
cool.
gen. It would be so cool, but I'm just running out of
Are there
room
any
now.
models where it's like the full size Enterprise or anything like that, where you can use like dolls inside, or nothing?
Not a full size. No, they did.
I know
They
there
did
was.
make
I
a.
remember there was a toy where it was like either the transporter or the bridge, like just like by
Yeah.
itself. You know what I mean?
It was the transporter. It was the Migos.
I have a working next gen transporter. So next time I'm on, I'll bring that up here.
Oh, that'd
But
be really cool.
It uses like a carnival mirror trick that you put a figure in, and when you do the thing and it makes the sound, it changes the light so that it's reflecting off a different mirror, and it looks like they disappeared. And then of course you
That's
can
cool.
bring them back. It's an awesome toy.
It doesn't teleport them to another planet or
It
anything.
doesn't. I've opened the door and look,
Oh.
they're still there.
That
It's,
Do you know
sucks.
that I have a pinball machine that's Star Trek that was done by some of the guys from Williams, which is the best pinball machine company. Who basically, the company at one point was folded, or a couple guys broke off when it started this Data East, and they got the licensing to do Star Trek. And so they did not Next Generation, but they did the original with Spock and Kirk. I mean, all those guys. And when you go into multi-ball on this game, and Yeoman, Rand, and Uhura are there, and all the different ones, you know, the bubble-headed people, and I mean, it's a great game. But when you go into multi-ball, what happens is it's a picture of the transporter room, and all of them are standing on the pads. And then what happens is it's like a gigantic flicker ring, and then it kind of goes like this, and when it moves over like a quarter of an inch, they're gone. And then they're gone the entire time. So in other words, they jump onto the playfield and they help you. I mean, ostensibly with the multi-ball, and then when it's done, then they reappear.
They reappear
back in the transporter room. So
that's very cool.
That is cool.
That is cool.
So who wants to go next?
What you got?
I'll go next.
Oh, Matt.
I don't know if Steven brought books because he.
I don't think so.
Oh, I did. I have some. I did get some.
Oh, yeah, some. Okay.
All right. Well, one thing about I'm going to show Jenny briefly again. One thing that this book has done to me has really piqued my interest in the character, and I've actually done some research this week, and that's I went and found what her true first appearance was, and I've put it in my cart, and I'm going to order it after we're done this weekend, because if I find it locally at the comic show, then obviously I'll take it out of the cart. But I'm going to start with this one because everybody loves Power Girl. She's on her way out for a date. And then what's cool about it is this week this came out. This is the follow-up to it, and I really like this cover.
Who's the guy on the right?
Her date.
I beg your pardon?
Her date. It's the guy that she's met. He apparently lives in Valhalla, which is why it says date night in Valhalla. But I don't remember his name off the top of my head.
He sure doesn't look very much like Power Girl. Who did the art?
This cover was done by either Williams or Moore, depending on I can't find the signature. But it's actually, it says Paquette on there by the looks of it. So I wonder if that's Yannick. So I'll have to look that up. Yannick,
Wait, show it again.
it says Paquette right here on the purple cape. So I wonder if it's Yannick Paquette.
Whenever I hear Paquette, I always think of Jimmy Stewart in Anatomy of a Murder, when he's got a guy on the stand and the name is Paquette, and he would say, "And okay, Mr. Paquette."
Here's G.I. Joe 309. This came out this week, I believe, too. It was either this week or last week.
When did they start G.I. Joe again? When did they start it up again?
This is issue 309. They started up with issue 301, and it's once a month, so 8 months. It's when they brought back Transformers. Because Transformers and GI Joe are in a universe together now called the John universe or something.
And
To
that's,
that,
that's DC or Marvel or Image or what?
it's Image.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is the latest issue of Action. I like it because it's got Superman running with a train while switching clothing from Clark Kent to a Superman.
I do like that cover.
It sort of reminds me of the movie when he's running as a teenager. And of course, I mean, in all those times in the Golden Age where they, he's faster than a locomotive. It's just, it's a nice,
little bit of that, yeah.
It's a nice.
Faster than a speeding bullet and more powerful than a locomotive, but I won't get fussy.
Mm-hmm.
He's faster than a locomotive too.
Here's one that I just pulled out because, again, I just love the cover. It's a modern book. It's been out for a while, but I just really like Stargirl.
I wish they would have kept that series going. I thought it was a fun series.
Yeah, actually, I liked it.
The problem was they were going to keep it, and then the CW went broke.
Well, they had so many bad shows. That was the problem.
Yeah. K. Munin, the new Joe stories are awesome. I've been buying all of the G.I. Joe comics. They're great.
I'm not sure why, but you're hard to understand, Matt. There's some weird feedback.
Yeah, I was wondering where it's coming from, and I don't think it's me because I've done everything
myself. Like everyone, mute yourselves except for Matt.
Hello. Yeah, so it's not me.
I'm gonna unmute myself. Okay, keep on talking.
Yeah, no, the G.I. Joe, the end, yeah. See, Lyle said it, and it's Energon. I've heard it pronounced that way, and the newer Joe books have been really good. They brought Larry Hama back to write them, and he was the writer before. So, like, he's been writing them since the Marvel days. So, I mean, it was great to see him. And this one came out this week. Why I like Brave and the Bold, the new issue, is because it brings back memories of the old anthology titles, because there's always 3 stories in it and they're always different characters. Like Batman is always one of the stories, but they've had Superman, they've had Aquaman. This month they had Nightwing and Deadman team up. Like it's always different things. And I've always loved anthology books.
And is that the current run, Matt?
That is the current run. It's at issue 16. And to be honest, it's probably DC's 3rd bestseller right now.
Oh, I might have to pick that up. I love an anthology.
Batman and the Nightwing series, this is probably the bestseller. It's outselling Detective in Action. So someone else can go now. I'll save the books for.
Okay. I was just doing a little bit of unboxing. I'm curious about the books myself. So, so I was trying to find, I can't find the books that I bought last week. I had a bunch of books that I bought last week. Oh, I know what happened. So, Stephen, can you mute yourself just for a sec? Thanks.
Yeah, I had just
Stephen.
I
think it's Stephen. Sorry.
I don't
about the Peapod. Every time you're there, it gets weird feedback.
Yeah.
So I went to our comic shop, Matt, and there's one. Usually it's the owner guy, but this time it was the other guy.
They were in Toronto.
Okay, yeah. So the other guy, not the owner guy, he is awkward to buy from. So I was like, there was like all the new comics that were there. I'm like, hey, I just want to, grab a few from the shelf. He's like, oh, no. We're saving those for people that are walking in. I'm like, okay, I just walked in. And he's like,
You
no,
know,
no, no, you have an account, so you can't buy those. I'm like, well,
no,
like,
that okay.
so
Rob would explain it to you better in the sense that what he does is he prefers to have us order it through him first, and then he orders copies, and then he orders 2 extra to put on the shelf for
I
other
get
people.
that. I get that. So
That's why.
usually what'll happen is so Rob, the other guy, will say, hey, if there's extras on the shelf, there was like 10 copies of one book. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just want to
He'll
grab one.
say if there's extras on the shelf, meaning more than 2,
Exactly.
go ahead.
But he wouldn't let me buy any.
Mhm.
And so I'm
Yeah,
like, okay,
because
well then,
Steve, I think his name is Steve, and
okay.
he's a little nervous and, as I said, awkward. I find
Yeah.
when I go in there, I have a little difficulties as well.
So I was
When
like, okay, can I just just take one? All I want was one. And then so what would happen? So what happened after that was that I said, okay, just order it then for me. I'll put it in my bin. Put it into my pull box. He's like, no, you have to go to the app thing
That's
and
not
order it.
totally true, because if Rob had been there, he would have helped you.
Exactly.
There's
So
been
that's
times that Rob, it's because I don't think he knows. Like, he only works Sundays
no, it was
unless
Wednesday.
Rob is out of town.
Yeah, okay. So it was
Okay.
just really annoying. So I was like,
Mhm.
so I ended up only getting one book, which was already in my pull box. I was like, okay. So that's
So
why I did.
I wouldn't take that with a grain of salt. Like, I'm saying, take it with a grain of salt. If Rob's not there, you might have some difficulty. Because like
Yeah.
when Rob's not there, I don't go like when it's that guy, I don't go back issue diving because sometimes he forgets to put my discount on the back issues.
The worst time was I actually bought a bunch of books, right? And he kept on miscounting them when he tried to like tally up the total. And so it took like an hour to process the order.
I'd go to a different store. I would get all of your books from
It's a
my comic shop. I would have them just and send them in every month and just do that and screw this guy.
Understand what I would say, JX, and I'll say this to you, Stephen. He is the best store in town, and he can get us
that's
anything.
the sad part.
Screw him.
Well,
If
the
he
other
is
store I used to go
customer
to is
service, forget
closed
it.
now. So I'm like,
Forget it. I won't do business with people like that. They don't want my money, and then they won't give me any kind of consideration. Screw them. Sorry.
just to make somebody
That's
happy
how
in
I
the
feel.
background.
Too bad, Joe.
Yeah, no, I feel bad for the guy, but I
I've been dealing with Rob for 20 years, and he's fantastic to deal with. He
Sounds
has
like
found me every single book that I've ever wanted.
wow.
okay,
Okay.
well, that's
He
good.
sounds like a prince among men.
He's really good. He's really good. He
Yeah,
found
that's
me
really
this Uncle Scrooge book that literally nobody was able to find and I was looking for it for 6 years, and he found
the
it
Uncle Scrooge book.
within three weeks. He found it.
In 3 weeks, Alan.
I have not yet got my zombie tramp from him.
The current issue.
No, I'm looking for issue number 3 still.
Issue
Okay.
3.
Oh, well.
Issue 3 variant, isn't it?
It's not a variant. It's just
He has been looking. I can tell you this. He's been looking for it. We discussed it the day of the interview.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll wait a couple more weeks. Okay. I don't have actually anything to show. So Stephen, do you have something to show?
Yes, I did. I will be happy
Okay.
to show.
I'll let you show.
I went. I haven't. I have not been buying much now for a while, and everything that I'm getting in the mail now is stuff that I'd ordered from before. And the reason why I'm in the search for an addition to my Batman run, and I'm waiting until I get that. So I do want to buy something, but instead of buying little stuff here and there and hither and and everything, and it all kind of adds up. I'm just kind of stopped, and then when it comes time when the book is found, I have a couple of good sleuths looking for me now. I don't want to tell any other sleuths because then they'll all be working against each other, and then the price will go up, and the end user, which will be me, will get it in the shorts. So I would rather not do that. So anyway, I'm being a patient guy because it is a book that I don't want to say what it is, but when I do get it, it's going to be a fanfare, and then what I will do is that will
Is it
then
the one that I know?
I think so, and
Yeah.
I think it is. And so what I want to do is when I do get it, then it will be a show where I basically will then show all my bats again, and then go through and then have this one because it's one that I've wanted to get for a long time, and now I'm in a position where I can go get it, and I want to get it, and so blah blah blah, and that's what I'm doing. But I have a friend who is sort of a nomadic fellow who goes from town to town. He goes all over the country buying books and what have you. He's a picker, and I've known him for 30 years. And he came into town, and the last 2 times he's come by, I haven't bought anything from him because I've been buying other stuff. And this time he said, I brought stuff. He went to San Diego Comic-Con, and then he hit a whole bunch of other stuff in California and around. And plus he has several warehouses where he has stuff that he's accumulated over the years. So he hit one of those and was going through, and long story short, because it's him and I hadn't bought anything, I like to support, I like to help my friends, as far as when I'm buying, I like to be able to help. And so I did buy some, and I wouldn't buy something that's junk, but it was, I wanted to help them. So the first one I will show you is from, I think it's 1986, and I think it's an Olivia cover, and it's Torchy.
Nice.
His name is Ron, and so whenever I go to his store or when I visit him in the hotel, he always calls it Ron Con, and so it's Ron Con. And
Is that Olivia that did that, by the way?
I beg your pardon?
Is that Olivia that did that one?
Yeah, it's Olivia.
Yeah, it's that.
It's signed Olivia.
Oh wow, nice.
Nice.
And this is unsigned, but it's Marilyn.
That's very cool.
Very cool.
She looks like she's having fun.
I hope so. So I saw this one, and Susan had talked about these characters, and she used to watch the show, and I never was a big one to watch the show. But there it was, and I said, "Oh, I know who wants that." He says, "Well, for you, it would have been like $35, but because it's for Susan, it's free." And so he gave her it's an ALK from.
Oh, nice.
Excellent.
Awesome book.
It is nice.
That's their first appearance.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah, I've only been doing business for him for 30 years, and then he'll get my spouse, and he says, and he gives it, fully barbed and feathered to me. I'm not quite sure about that. And this one is because it is a Donald Duck and Uncle Scrooge cover, but it is also a 3D book. It has the glasses included. It has never been opened. It is still in its poly bag, and it is an infinity cover.
Oh, nice. I
nice.
have that one.
Oh, that is
I'm sorry,
awesome.
Alan, you have it already?
Yeah, I have that, but it's a great one. You know, it's strange. Mine is the same way. I have it in the poly bag. I have it the same way. It looks so funny. You must have stolen that from my card or something.
I didn't see anything. It was he brought it with him, and I knew that Susie would like it. So, but now, of course, when Susan during holidays and various times, Susie always says, take these to Ron, and like potato rolls that she makes that are amazing, nut roll that she makes, these things she makes from scratch, family recipes and things that she does, which are to die for. The potato rolls have just the right amount of crack in them. It's just great. Anyway, so I have 3 more.
That sounds weird.
This is not a, I don't really collect the Fantastic Four, but because of the Doom spec going on, I saw this Dr. Doom cover and I said, oh, I'll take that.
Nice.
Okay, interesting.
That one has gone up quite a bit. I need that one, and I've looked at it, and it's actually gone up like 10% in the last month.
Why that one specifically?
because it's got Doctor Doom on the cover. It's just
That's it. That's all that's going for it.
everything that has Doctor Doom on the cover right now is getting a small bump.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And it says here, from this day forward onward, you are slaves of Doctor Doom. And Susan, who has watched the Immortal Biggie Shack, where he always talks about Kirby Crackle,
Mm-hmm.
is that Kirby Crackle right there in front of the thing? I
That
say,
is.
yes, that is Kirby Crackle. She says, fair enough. That's what I thought. My wife can identify Kirby Crackle.
That's quite the lady.
Yes.
And and then this one I just like because it's in perfect condition. Absolute, it's just perfect. Ernie Chua, and it appears to be 1976, and the Coletta was the other hand in it, and is Super Friends #1.
Oh, nice. I like the cheetahs.
DC TV comic, huh?
There's Cheetah, and who's the girl in the yellow that's on the corner next to Penguin?
Looks like a knight of some sort with wings on him.
Oh,
hold it up better, and I can see.
Oh,
okay.
Maybe that's Shining Knight.
No, that's somebody that was on the TV show only. And I just can't think of it off the top of my head.
And Matt, who's the pudding that has M on his chest?
That would be Marvin.
That's Marvin.
And Wonder Dog, or
is it Wonder Mutt?
Is that Dynamite?
Wonder Mutt.
Wonder Mutt, yeah. Wendy and Marvin, who were replaced by Jan and Zaina and Gleek later. Wendy and Marvin were useless.
So this is the thing that goes along with the DC TV stuff.
That's right.
Isn't that fun?
Yes.
Cool.
I cannot look at a TV Robin without hearing Casey Kasem's voice. You know? and it's the same thing with Shaggy. You know, I can't, again, Casey Kasem, you heard him so often back when he was alive and stuff, and now it's like nothing. I mean, the last few years he was alive, he did practically nothing, and it was weird.
Here is an Adam Kubert cover, and I don't know if I have this or not. I actually may, but this one was in absolutely, completely pristine condition, and so I jumped for it, and it's by Adam Kubert. Did the cover.
That's a good book too. I like that one.
Now I'm assuming this is Deadpool and Wolverine's first meeting. Is that correct?
No, there's some.
I believe that cover was in the trailer before the movie came out, and so it really spiked.
So this one was. They believe that this was the first time that they fight. But there's an earlier comic that was like a Walmart exclusive or something.
You're gonna use some Walmart exclusive, but this is the first cover of them doing this, right?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Iggy is saying it's the first Deadpool Wolverine meeting. So
yeah, there's an earlier meeting though, which is a Walmart. I have both, so
that's not
Iggy apparently does
Alan, real. It's not a real comic book.
Okay.
Sorry. Now, Alan, I will give you an option.
Okay.
I have another. These are all ones that I got from Ron.
Oh, okay.
But
wow, you have a stack.
These are more along the lines of a
Monday show,
a Monday thing.
Okay.
So since I'm going to be here Monday, I have these available to then show.
Yeah, I'll leave them for Monday.
Okay. I'll show one more just for fun. How's that?
Yeah, just show one more for fun.
Well, actually, let me see. Would you like to see a Dell that's very unique and interesting?
Sure.
Or a Bronze Age horror?
You can do both.
I've always thought Adele was interesting.
Okay, I'll do.
I posted on my Instagram.
I will do as I am told. I always do as I am told.
Cool. I actually posted a Bronze Age horror on my my Instagram today.
Yes, I saw that.
This, and again, I am all about condition. I mean, it's as far as that goes. I mean, it's just this is House of. There's no escape from the House of Secrets. This is issue number 100 of House of Secrets. It's a Bernie Wrightson cover.
That is
Oh,
one
okay.
of the figures in the back and the skulls. This is one of my favorite Bernie Wrights and House Secrets covers.
They saved something good for issue 100.
Yeah,
That's very
and it's
nice.
just I just like the whole. You got the guy. It's turned white as a sheet, white as a ghost because he's scared. I just like the symbolism very much.
That's very cool.
No.
They're very
So there's
translucent
that.
too.
And I got this one again because it's just in perfect condition. And it's when Dell went to 12 cents. And because then they went back up to 15 cents, but they were 15, then they were 12, and then they were back up to 15. This is in the 12, and this, I've never seen this cover before, and I was just stunned by it. And here it is.
Oh, okay. Superheroes.
Nice.
10,000 degrees of hate-filled heat. Can they stop him? And I don't even know who they are. The Fab Four. Meet the Incredible Coal Man.
Coal Man.
Well,
Isn't
first of
that
all,
just cool? I mean,
the
I've never
Fab
seen
Four,
this
eh?
before.
I'm guessing this predates the Beatles.
Yeah, Fab Four, because Fab Four is the Beatles, right?
Yes.
But she looks like a female Magnus the Robot Fighter. In her costume. I don't know who these people are. The guy down here looks
But
like
this looks like
Chameleon Boy.
60s. Is it? It looks like early 60s,
Here,
right?
let me open it up and I'll tell you.
If it's 12 cents, it's probably after Dell lost all their cartoon licensing.
But that's like
Whenever you take, guys,
65 or
whenever
something
you
like that.
take tape off of a book, throw the tape away. Do not try to reuse it. Just put new tape on, and then you won't have the books get tape pull. And you try to be too cheap ass, then you end up getting your books destroyed. Take it from me. God, this thing.
I think it was 62, Alan.
What? 62 that,
That
they
Dell
lost
lost
the
the
licensing rights?
Because I think that's when Gold Key kicked in, was 62.
62,
This
yeah.
is 1967. May of 1967. It's Superheroes #3.
I have the very
Which would
first
put it-
Gold Key, which is the...
And it's a Sal Tapani story. Challenge of the Universe. Heat, more heat. Arg. The pages are just absolutely white.
Very nice.
Not fun. Let's see what's at the end. How do they get them? The
Superman
Dell
turns
Hall,
into a demon?
and they go to the Dell Hall of Heroes. Sort of like
Wow.
it's
wow.
who are these people? I've never even seen them before.
I
always
wonder if
thought-
that's the only issue they're in.
This is issue 3.
Oh,
Who knew? I didn't know. But it's just in perfect. I'll tell you, there's something about a Silver Age book. This thing, it has this wobble. It is so healthy, this book. The spine is absolutely perfect. I mean, they're just the materials that Dell used. They
sturdy.
used higher
They were meant
quality
for kids.
material, not like cheap ass marble Martin Goodman.
You've got the book out. Who's selling seeds?
Who's selling seeds? This is American Seed Company.
No, but who are the three in the top? Because they always have different people.
There's William Henlon from Missouri. They sell as fast as I can sell them. And then there's Mary Zimmerman from Wisconsin. It's an easy way to get money and prizes. And then there's Joel Ballinger from Washington. I sell American seeds every year. And you can get $3,000 given away our promptness contest. $1,000 in U.S. savings bonds plus $2,000. Save for college or spend it now, it says. You can get a pool table set, girls' travel case, Daisy air rifles, a whole bunch of them, bow and arrow. But this is far enough along, you can't get a .22 rifle.
Oh, okay.
So 1967, but there it is. Transistor radios too. Have you guys ever seen a real transistor radio, like a handheld one from like the 60s?
I
Oh,
had
yeah.
one as a kid.
We
We
had
used to
one in
hang it on
school.
we used to hang it on the side of my bed and help me fall asleep when I was like 3-4 years old.
Then the question was, how many transistors do you have in your radio? I've got an 8 transistor. I've got a 12 transistor radio. It's that kind of thing. I had actually mine was an 8. I had 8 transistors, and it was a General Electric. And you had to be careful if you left the batteries, because batteries back then you had to kind of take them out, because they would basically fizz and come on, get bad actually. Oh, you have issue number 1 in your collection?
Yes, issue number 1.
That is cool.
Wow.
Well, let's see. We've got Paul Bond in the thing, and you just talked about bond, savings bond.
It's but the thing back then is they also had a transistor radio. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And Radio Shack, I used to like going there for components and stuff, but they're gone.
One sec. Did you ever sell Grit newspapers?
Lau, I never sold Grit, and I never sold Cloverine salve. I asked my father I said, Dad, and I said, Dad, what is? And I said, Dad, what's Cloverine salve? And he put the paper down. He says, Stephen, it's not salve, it's salve. And I said, okay, so they don't pronounce the L. No, it's not salve, it's salve. I said, well, what is it? And he put the paper up and says, some goop you put on you that makes you feel good.
It looks like
I said, okay.
Looks like Steve Driscoll's Grit.
So Cloverine salve, and then they had, what's the other one they had? There was Grit, and then there was something else. Any number of different.
There's a postcards one too that you could sell.
Yes,
the greeting cards.
Greeting cards, yeah.
Yeah, they had the
Greeting cards on that, yeah.
Everybody loves them at Christmas time. They all want to buy them from me.
And they look like the worst, most boring cards ever.
We got Random Rip says he sold Grit.
Oh, wow. Everyone's sold.
And what was Grit?
What was Grit? Yeah.
Apparently, it was America's newspaper.
And didn't Marvel have a magazine too that they had for a while that you could sell? Not Foon, but it was something else they had. I can't remember. They did anything they could to make a buck.
Marvel, yeah.
Okay, so wait, I switch.
This Christmas cactus up here, right? My Christmas cactus.
Christmas sign.
When we moved in here, we thought it was fake, and then we never watered it or anything for, I don't know, almost a year. And then the thing started to bloom. I go, God, Susan, this is alive. I guess we better water it. And that
But
was,
you don't have to water it that often, obviously.
and that was, and the thing is still going. Love is on top of the refrigerator. I mean, I guess there's some heat, but you just can't overwater them. I mean, don't put too much water on them because they don't like that. But they have those really those pink blooms that come out from these flat leaves, and the thing it's incredible, really. And it's amazing. Christmas cactus.
I'm just reading people's comments on the side here.
Yeah, there's a lot about Grit going on.
People love Grit.
I didn't. Apparently, I should be selling Grit.
It was a good newspaper, Common Sense reporting.
Common Sense reporting about what? Common events or current events of the day? Graphic Man?
I guess so.
Alan, do you remember Highlight?
Oh yeah, I have a whole collection of highlights.
Tommy Timbertoes.
I'd circle.
And whenever you go to the doctor, some clown kid has already circled where the spoon and the birdhouse is in the thing.
Yeah.
And they circle them on, and the mother says, "Oh, little Joey, you did so good, Joey, you creep. Don't circle it, then everybody else can look at it too, you jerk."
I remember in like grade 1 or 2, I think it was grade one, we actually had highlight. They looked like almost like a menu, like not a menu, but a serving mat. You know, like a placemat, and
I
it
know
was
what
like
you're
a highlight thing with where you could. It was like laminated, and you could like circle all the things with some marker, and then it would just wipe off.
Oh, well, that's smart. I never saw
Yeah,
that.
we had that when I was in
I
school.
always thought Tommy Timbertoes was sort of weird. And
Yeah.
Goofus and Gallant, wasn't that in there too?
Goofus and Gallant,
Yep, yep.
Goofus was so cool.
I remember
voted
my
for Goofus
doctor's
over
office had
Gallant. Gallant was
probably
boring.
100 of
Goof,
those.
Goofus was always like rolling dice and smoking cigarettes, and you're like, that's who I want to hang with.
Goofus was the man. Gallant was
Right.
Goofus
had cigs rolled up in his sleeve. I loved him.
Yeah,
Stealing his
yeah,
dad's whiskey.
Goofus
thing,
rocked.
yeah.
Oh, like Schneider. Remember that on
Yeah,
one day at a time there? Oh,
Oh,
So wait. Okay, there was highlight. Do you guys remember Chickadee or something like that?
yes, Chickadee. That was a Canadian magazine. That's why they
Oh,
wouldn't know.
okay. Okay.
Mm.
That's not one I know.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same with
Chickadee.
Owl. They were Canadian magazines.
Owl's the older kids. I was reading Chickadee when I was. Yeah.
Nate, are you in Canada too? Or are you an American?
No, I am in Indiana. The
You're in
Canada
Indiana.
the Canada of the Midwest.
Mhm.
Where in
I
Indiana?
thought that
are
was
you?
Minnesota.
Where in Indiana?
I live very near to Indianapolis.
I mean,
Ranger
can you
Rick.
see the
Oh my
city?
goodness.
My
Yeah, that's
spouse
another
was
one.
there for a while.
Oh. Yeah, it's a place that you live.
Let's take it.
It's okay.
Because I could say yes to this one. How many people were dumb enough to send $1 to get the sea monkeys?
I
No.
did. Actually, I did it once. But I never got anything.
Yes,
No?
you did. Didn't you have a science experiment that went terribly wrong, Alan?
So what happened was I never got anything when I sent away for it. But later on, there was like a store, like I forgot what it's called, like Carlton Cards or one of those ones. And you guys, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but
I know.
there's this, and they sold sea monkeys. They had like a little novelty section, and they had sea monkeys. So I was like, oh, I always wanted sea monkeys. So I bought the sea monkeys, and I put in all the packs because nothing was happening. So I just dumped it all in, and within a few days, it just went completely green, and algae started growing all over the place. It was pretty crazy.
What happened was my brine shrimp / sea monkeys never activated to life. So
I did it a
my
second time and
experience-
they came to life. It actually worked.
my experience playing God didn't work. So
See, I did have sea monkeys, but I bought them at like I want to say Toys R Us, and I
Oh,
remember
okay.
I remember them working, and I remember being absolutely devastated that they were not like little miniature people. You know?
Yeah, and then doing like things where they like had a little kingdom and like all these like little things.
Richmond.
yeah, that was the other thing.
She was
I
in
thought they
Richmond.
would build the little.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, she was in Richmond.
Okay. He said his wife lived in Indiana for a time.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
She
I know
was
where
there
that
for
is.
Quite a while, and that's where the preacher fellow, the guy that came that was so good. I can't think of his name.
Jim Jones.
No.
Oh wow.
Because
Lyle
he's from
went away
Indiana.
For the Atlas
It
workout
was
program.
I can't think of his name.
You know, Charles Atlas didn't live very long after he started the Atlas program. I read his Wikipedia
really?
thing and I thought, oh, wow.
What happened to him?
He had a heart attack like 4 years after he started it.
Oh,
And I'm
That's
guessing it
messed up.
wasn't that good a workout for him after all.
Wow,
Well,
that's
Jack
really messed up.
LaLanne lived a long time.
Jack LaLanne did live a long time.
Yeah. Who's Jack LaLanne?
Wasn't it Jack LaLanne that swam
LaLanne.
between
Mhm.
Alcatraz and into San Francisco, and he was
Also,
pulling a boat with his teeth and
Pulled
everything?
a boat. Yes, pulled a boat with his teeth. Later on, he sold juicers on infomercials, and but he was always about like healthy living and things. But yeah, he was kind of a showman
Oh, is
too.
he the guy that like would overdose on vitamin C?
No, that was Linus Pauling.
Yeah, there was one guy. He's
Linus
like, "This will make
Pauling.
me live forever," and they actually
Linus
tested his.
Pauling. Linus
Yeah.
Pauling. That's the guy that was the big vitamin C guy.
Yeah, and they actually tested his blood and it actually had like a high amount of vitamin C in it. It was really crazy. Kind of overdosed on vitamin C. Yeah.
Do you remember Ewell Gibbons?
No.
He was the one that would go out in the forest and he says, you know, folks, many plants are edible. And
Oh,
then
wow.
he would sell some screwy supplement or something, and the ads were everywhere. And then I think he actually tried to eat a pine cone and he died.
No. It's like the irony. Like it's sort of like what's his name? The guy that died from the stingray.
Oh, Crocodile Hunter.
That's
Yeah.
terrible. Steve Irwin.
Steve
Yeah.
Irwin.
You guys remember
He did not
It's like the
respect-
ironic death kind of thing going
He
on.
did not respect the animal. He was too lackadaisical about the danger of the animals. He was too forward, and it speared him right into the heart and killed him dead.
Yeah.
Do you remember Count Dante?
Yeah, the world's most dangerous man. Do you know what happened to him?
He had a stroke and died at 32.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
How about Yubi Waza?
Who's Yubi Waza?
Mm-hmm.
You're so young. It was another ad that they had, and they had this gal. Her name is Yoshi Tojoshi, and she said, "I can immobilize a 250-pound man with one finger," and she only weighs about 89 pounds. And the story was that her husband was the guy that was selling stuff, the secrets of Yubi Waza. He says that the Oriental people were very upset because he had learned their secret ways, and then he decided to share it with you for $1.25. And I always felt that and it showed you one of the techniques they had for Yubi Waza, and it was some sort of a thing like a Spock, the Vulcan mind meld, or where he hits the thing and then down you go. And so he ends up, so my brother Doug and I would always try Yubi Waza on our dog, but he wasn't affected. He just kept moving. But if I offered him a treat, he would sit still.
Oh, okay. There's always that nerve pinch, right?
I only thought the only way that Yoshi could stop a 250-pound man is if her one finger was inside the trigger of a Colt 45 automatic, and that I think would stop a 250-pound man. But that's about the only way.
Don't forget.
I don't hate you, Big B. I actually gave you an invite to this show.
Don't forget, of course, the what was it, Kill Bill, with the move that you could hit and then he takes 5 steps and dies.
Yeah. Hey, I want to show something that it's not something I bought. It's something I took a picture of, and I want you and Steven's opinion of it. And I don't know if I can show it, if I can make this work.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Very nice.
they have this at my local shop. It's Superman issue 6. I mean, I love the autograph,
Yeah, the autograph reveals his secret. Yeah.
Right. But this thing is in like incredibly brittle shape. It looks pretty good, to be honest, but they wouldn't even let me take it out of the case. And so it's they're asking $1,000 for it.
No.
But
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Do not.
That's way overpriced.
It seemed overpriced to me. But it was like, I've never seen a Golden Age book at my shop before.
I've seen a Superman 6 here in Ottawa in better shape than that, and it had the price tag of about $800, and of course that's Canadian dollars.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I wouldn't pay $1,000 for a brittle.
They're high on that one, Nate. But avoid that. If you can avoid brittle pages, sometimes brittle pages really aren't brittle pages, but sometimes they are. And
I found out the hard way on a few books.
Yeah, I definitely look. Don't worry, I wasn't a buyer no matter what. I mean, I don't drop that kind of money. I collect Dazzler, so.
Well, that's an expensive book for a little while there.
I mean, some of it's been more than I want to pay. That's for sure.
Now that the movie out, do you think the price has dropped?
I've been
I haven't watched Comic Con in a while.
It's dropped a little bit, but not as much as it should. I mean, it's still over $100, and I think
I wonder if
people are still hoping.
Yeah,
But they're going to
What's
push
that,
because
Dazzler one?
there's an X-Men movie
What is
coming.
it?
Dazzler 1 and the first appearance in X-Men as well, right?
Yeah, the X-Men one is the one that's like $150 still. Uncanny 130. And it's just, I mean, come on. It's not worth that much.
Plus, she looks like a bad Kiss, a reject from the band Kiss on that cover.
I always liked the Dazzler. I always thought she was kind of hokey and fun.
Exactly. That's what I love. So like
Yeah.
all I've been able to do is get the facsimile. But
Oh,
you know,
really?
yeah, I don't mind it.
One of the early books that I picked up was Dazzler's first appearance. I actually before
picked
the
that one up
spec and before
See,
I picked
Alan-
that up in a cattle call. I mean, there was a
I
bunch of books. He said, I think the guy just threw it in. He says, I guess this is going to do something. And he gave me a copy of Dazzler. Isn't there one that where it's sort of I won't say sepia tone, but it is a different artistic style, whatever.
there are a lot of Bill Sienkiewicz Dazzler covers that are just outstanding. You know, his artwork and the painted style that he does. And I do. Alan, I knew you were a man of culture. I didn't realize that you were like a Dazzler fan too. Now you're on a new level to me. But but seriously, like I do like the book because for the same reason.
I have the whole run, by the way.
Awesome. I'm putting it together, and it's been a ton of fun to like hunt them down. But those Bill Sienkiewicz covers are just like one of my favorites is the one that looks like Michael Jackson's Thriller.
That's the big one. That's actually a big key. Actually,
That's a big key.
I have it. I have that one. I have I have most of the painted covers. I don't know, somewhere in the stack, I have one that I just picked up not too long ago. That was
What a lot of people don't know about that Michael Jackson one. If you flip over onto page 11 and you hold it at just right angle, it goes.
This one
Sorry,
is
I can't help myself.
yeah, there it is. I just got this one a little bit ago. So this is like
another big one.
That's Bill Sienkiewicz did the album art, but then it's like a photograph. It's like multimedia. So that's I'm pretty sure that's someone's real hand holding it. And
well, that one went kind of hot because there was some like thing with Taylor Swift or somebody holding something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was something.
Is Taylor Swift going to be Dazzler, or is that all dead now?
It's dead.
Been dead for a while now.
Well, I mean, the movie came out and she wasn't there, right? That's why I'm asking. That's why I asked if it's come down, because so many copies got done expecting that to be the Taylor Swift thing. That
well, I mean, if she was in that movie, you got like 1 million Taylor Swift fans that would have just gone crazy.
More than 1 million.
We would have been able to get thousands for that book, because I mean they're paying thousands for the ticket, right? So
right, and the thing is, like, she won't make it. You would make money on that for having the book to sell. It wouldn't make her any money. She's going to make some. I mean, the idea that she would be in that movie, like she'd be taking a pay cut, man. She is an industry. There's no way she's got time for that crap.
Well, you know, she could do a cameo, right?
I don't know. She's the amount of money that she is making by doing a concert is just unreal. So the idea that you'd even take a day off, you know,
she's a billionaire now, right?
Yeah, so, right. Yeah.
But it's one of those things.
They were
sometimes
saying
you just
that
do it for fun, right?
What you do? 3 shows in Toronto?
Yeah. So right now there was the one that they keep on promoting in Ottawa. So I went to a really fancy dinner. Okay. And they were offering, like, you know, different raffle things, you know, where it was to support a school, a local private school. And one of the prizes that you could bid on, it's not that you could win, you don't win anything, you just bid on these things, was 2 tickets to Taylor Swift in Toronto. And it sold for $15,000.
Whoa.
That's cheap.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. No, that was cheap of what some of what I've heard some of those tickets go for.
Yeah.
A pair to the last Toronto show at the front sold for $32,000 each. Each.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm sorry. That's a lot of comic books.
It is a lot of comic books.
It's a lot of Dazzlers, man.
You'd have to think it was somebody. You'd have to think it was somebody in the the more.
If I ever get to meet Taylor Swift, I'll get her to sign my Dazzler. I think
You
that'd be
should.
just too cool. I think
If I ever meet Taylor Swift, my first question is, "Where's Kelsey?"
who?
Her
Kelsey, that's
boyfriend,
her boyfriend.
Travis
Italian-
Kelce.
Oh,
I'm a
the football
fan.
player guy.
Yeah, I'm a football fan. I don't care about the.
Oh, okay.
Is
I'd
she
ask her
still
for
hooked up with
money.
Kelsey?
She is.
Well, that's long for her. I think it's more than like a few months.
It's been a long time. They kept it quiet for quite a while, apparently.
Well,
Before,
that's
Did they know each other in high school or something like that?
no,
In college or something?
she's older than him.
She'll do.
she'll do. She's okay.
He's only like 32 or 33, and she's in there.
Yeah, but he's got a lot more miles on him, I'll tell you that.
Well, yeah, football
Well,
players.
football's kind of rough, right?
I mean,
But yeah. So, by the way, just to change topic away from Taylor Swift, because I know we have a lot of Taylor Swift fans that watch this show.
Yeah.
yes.
But
That Venn diagram probably isn't as big of an overlap as we think.
yeah. I'm
Venn
not sure.
diagram? Oh my goodness. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah. So when the two circles, no. Okay, so
What we need to do, Alan, is get a picture of you with Taylor Swift and give that away as a giveaway.
I'm sure it would sell for millions. So yeah, so what I was going to talk about, just because the show is supposed to be modern comics stuff, right? And we're supposed to talk about the CBC Awards. So there's 3 people here. Sorry, Matt. You were nominated, Matt, but you didn't quite make the cut.
One of these things is not.
So, but 3 of us did. 3 of us did, and we're going to focus on the 3 that did, and ask everybody to go to the description of this video. There's a link. It says click here, basically. And if you go over on the CBCAwards.org site, it says vote now. You're gonna want to vote for Comic Collector Geek. You're gonna want to vote for Comic Collector Geek again, and then you want to vote for Comic Collector Geek one more time with Steven. Okay, so there's this.
Well, the Monday special.
Monday special. So you got to vote for that.
That's
and then you got to vote for
ongoing best ongoing series up to 5,000 people.
Yeah.
Followers.
It's awesome.
Oh, hey, JSS, thank you.
Hey,
Thank you, guys.
that's
Wow.
very cool.
I always appreciate money. Like, it's a thing. I kind of appreciate money. So yeah, but yeah, so go over there and vote because Holly, yeah, actually your channel's pretty awesome. I mean,
Well, thank you.
I mean, you said you had the background of being an editor and all that. It does show. It does show. Like if you watch my shows, you can see that I don't have that background. I was a physics major, so I don't have that background, and it shows. It definitely shows. But
Yeah.
I don't have that background either.
For the best unknown channel.
Yeah.
But you
Best
know
unknown
now.
channel is what Nate's going for Hall Yeah Comics. I have already voted.
I voted for Nate.
I have voted the slate already. I'm trying to find as many of my friends and henchmen that I can get to vote. As far as that goes, I know that all the rest of them everybody else is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You could also vote for Bleecker because, for Church and for his slab or not to slab is really, really good.
His spec on that, yeah.
Lunch Money Mike is also very, very good. Automatic
And
Comics
K-pop.
with Ryan
K-pop is a good one.
is
Mon
really good.
Comics is
And of
good
course,
too.
K-pop.
And Mon Comics.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know
And-
he's up against you in one, but he has another. He does have another category.
Yeah,
And,
don't vote for him in the same category as me, but any other category is all him.
Then in best new channel is Hagen from Lettuce Comics, and he's
Yep.
been on here
I
with
was
you
going
guys
to say that one
before.
too.
And I saw in the
voted for you
chat.
guys. I voted for you guys.
I really-
Vote for Sticky Goose. In the category that Sticky Goose is in, I recommend All Sorts of Words.
100%.
Yeah.
His
Yeah,
channel
that's
is
what I
probably
voted
one
for.
of the best comedic
Truly,
channels in my
Ricky's
opinion.
All Sorts of Words. If you haven't watched it, the team ups that we had for a while there before he burned out
It was
on it
really good.
Yeah.
are wonderful things where we take on roles and we show books, and then they vote for a whole week, and then the crying starts. It's really great.
Yeah, that
Um,
was well done. That was
And
probably
I
one of
was
the
the
best
one-
things on YouTube.
I was the one lucky enough to win Ricky's contest.
That's
so I
really
got
cool.
the Adams Family book.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And when's that one from?
This one's from 54, June 26, 54. It's a
Wow.
Wednesday Adams appearance.
Very, very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super cool. But yeah, I think I think we said earlier, it was before we started rolling, but I didn't know that, because I am literally brand new. I've only been doing this since the end of last or the beginning of the summer, end of the spring. So this is only like 4 months for me that I've actually been posting videos, even though I started putting things together before that. But and okay, right there, David, he's nominated too for Best New Channel, still only 35 cents, and he has a very good channel that you should check
Yeah,
out
he's
too.
pretty good too. Yeah, I've seen
Yeah. So David, don't sell yourself short, though. I appreciate you
They're the two
cheerleading
best
the rest of us.
choices in that category, I thought. But
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it was Matt nominating me that let me know that they even existed, and then I went in and I nominated a bunch of people that I've met, and oh, thank you, Lyle. I appreciate that. Yeah. So Best Unknown Channel. It's like, thank you. I mean,
how
it
many
means
subs
that
are
like
you up to now, Nate?
160 some, which
Not bad, not
no,
bad.
dude, I'm super happy with it. Like my growth has been steady from the beginning. I usually, I add 5 to 10 people a week, and that's really cool. What I really like is I feel like and Matt, you said this too, like I feel like I have really high engagement. I have
That's a good sign.
a lot of people leaving comments that I see consistently.
Yes, that is one thing I would say about mine. I mean, I've only got 225 myself, but I get a lot of engagement from those people. I get a lot of.
Well, at least we're not looking at their fannies all the time now. He doesn't have them
Yeah,
shoved
he's
up there so
sorted
their
them out.
butts are hanging out.
Yes, yes, yes. Speaking of which, Wednesday night at 7 o'clock is my live broadcast where we're going to pick my draw. We're going
That's
to give
awesome.
my prize away
That's
Yeah.
Wednesday
This
night.
coming Wednesday?
this coming Wednesday, 7 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay, so right before
If
book
you
club.
have not subscribed to my channel, you cannot win.
So
And
subscribe to Matt's
congratulations,
channel. You can
Matt, for reaching
big
your goal.
prizes.
What I want you to do is subscribe to the channel. You make a comment on the video that I put on that I've been putting up that says we made it to 222, and everybody who makes a comment on that video that's subscribed gets a shot at winning. There are lots of comics available. There is a T-shirt available from Alan. It's Alan's T-shirt, and there's a signed photo of Alan.
So
That
lots of great
apparently
stuff.
has been something
From
people have
7th
actually
grade.
been debating about.
I've got. I don't know if you guys are. I feel like this is up your alley,
Okay.
Alan.
Let me see. One sec here.
It's a new horror
Oh, that's
anthology
very
from
nice.
Boom.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
called Hello,
Hello,
Darkness.
Hello,
And
darkness, my old
I-
friend.
So this character, her name is Darcia, and I mean she's literally just their cover girl because it's a horror anthology. So all the stories inside are all all different.
Is
And
she like the
She's
narrator?
wearing a red dress.
No, she's not a narrator. I wish she were. Here's the second one. And I
nice.
like that she's like, it's Hello Darkness and she's turning off a light. She's about to do the pull.
Yeah.
And then they gave
I'll have to look for those. That does look cool.
it's cool. And let's see. Here's a bunch of
All the different pinups.
Nice.
All the
Uh-oh.
different like covers, the alternate covers, variants, yeah.
So just very
Very nice.
cool.
Oh, we should have invited that guy who came on Biggie's show last night to show the cards.
So you know what's funny, Matt? In the chat, somebody was trying to pitch him again. It's like,
Really?
Yeah.
Momo. Wow.
yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah,
Nate,
I saw him.
what are your titles? What do you collect? I mean, what are your collecting goals? I mean, what do you collect?
I think it's nice of you to assume that I have goals. I am I am a very ADHD collector. Like I make myself a list and I think I'm going to go in and stick with it. There are runs I'm putting together. You know, like I said, Dazzler's a run I'm putting together. A lot of mid 80s, early 90s DC. So like Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, Captain Atom. I really fell in love with the Justice League of the 80s. So the Keith Giffen era. And I know Matt likes those books too. So it's like if there's a satellite character and they had a series, even if it was short lived, I like to pick those up. I'm always buying super family stuff, Superman, Batman, but just anything that I think looks kind of cool, I'll grab it and give it a shot. So I don't,
more so DC than Marvel. Is that it?
definitely more DC than Marvel. But there's Marvel books that I do like, and I don't know. I like to watch, you know, like Hagen and I have become pretty good friends, and he's really into Captain America. It's not anything I've read very much of, and so I find myself like getting more into that because he's passionate about it, and I get it. So I mean, I don't see myself putting a run together, but I don't dislike anything. I like a lot of independent stuff. I've been picking up mostly independent for newer things, but the vintage stuff I pick up is mostly DC.
And what is vintage to you?
Vintage is anything, I mean, anything 1980s or earlier.
Wow.
So,
We're,
God,
so
I
that
am
means he's
so
referring to
old.
you,
I
Steven.
am
And
so old.
I mean, I don't mean that that's vintage, guys. I mean, I'm not, Alan, I'm
He's
not
referring
that
to
much.
us as being vintage people.
No.
We're vintage.
JSS, if you're talking about Hello Darkness, it is
Yes,
put out
that's what he's asking
by
about.
it's put out by Boom Studios. It's currently on issue 2. And there's just a bunch. I'm not sure who the artist is. I do think it says in the back. Let's see.
Thanks,
I
Steve.
can't tell. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's Boom Studios. It's currently out. When I was at my local shop, I saw they still had #1s. I know Garth Ennis is one of the writers. Becky Cloonan has some stories, and like any good anthology, not all of the stories are good, but the ones that are worth reading.
I'd like to point out something while you're talking about Captain America. Steve Driscoll here in the chat. He has a small little channel. He has just put together the entire run of the Silver Age Captain America.
Yeah,
and
Cool.
that was really that takes a bit of work. So good way to go, Steve.
and I love Steve's channel. I mean, I watch it. I know you do too, Matt. I watch it pretty consistently because he tells stories just by showing the covers. Like, and he has a notebook where he's written things down so that he can, like, it's not just what's in the book, but it's his memories of the book.
Yeah.
And he's just a really nice guy.
These notebooks.
Does he start with Avengers 4?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure about that, but he certainly started with Captain America 100.
Okay, so that's
Okay,
a pretty good run.
1968 then.
Yeah.
Yeah, 68.
That's a great book.
Yeah.
And you know, Steven, if I had to pick one thing that I'm like really focused on and hunting, it's Silver Age DC.
Silver Age DC.
Yeah, 12 cent. 10 and 12 cent Silver Age DC.
Very cool.
See, Rob helped me find those this week.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna actually wrap it up because I think there's the Biggie Shaq show tonight, isn't there?
I was going to ask, is there one tonight?
I thought it was last week.
Was it last week or this week? I always get confused.
Me too.
I don't know, but maybe this week. So yeah, so what does everybody have coming up? So Nate, you're first.
I think on Tuesday I'm gonna do a stream on my channel with Hagen of Lettuce Comics and Jacob, another friend of ours, of Bone Claws
Cool.
Comics. The three of us kind of started doing that and then inviting people on, and we haven't been able to get just the three of us together in a while.
Yeah, Jacob's pretty cool channel too.
Yeah, he's another, he's a Marvel focused guy, but so I think we're doing that on Tuesday. And then, my goal is to always put out a thought out video, a produced video once a week. And since I've started my channel, I've been able to do that. With the exception of 2 weeks ago, I got some nasty flu and I wasn't able to even get off the couch for a week. So
that's why you didn't do one. I was looking for it. Okay.
It was bad, buddy. I went,
I should have texted you. I'm sorry.
I'm a school teacher and I went back to work and they got me. So
yeah, the kids are brutal for the kind of diseases they get.
It's definitely something, but that's about it, man. Is I'm gonna, you know what? Tomorrow, now it's 7 a.m. Eastern. I've got to get up early, but David Garage Geek is doing he's doing a live stream of and I love his channel because he's like so eclectic. He does so many things,
like
right?
Records and
yes,
random stuff. Yeah.
And so that's what tomorrow is. He picked a record, a movie, a comic book, and a novel. And he gave us a month, and I got most of it. So I'm gonna hang out in his chat. Maybe jump on his stream
on that one. That sounds right up his alley.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm on it, but I know he's doing it, and I'm going to definitely be in the chat because I want to talk about those, those things that I did check out.
Very cool.
Yeah, and every now and again, people invite me to be on their stream like you, and I just love that. I really appreciate it.
This is Friday. We do that. We invite everybody. We invite cool people to hang out, and
and even lets me come.
Yeah,
and I even let Steven come. So you got to have that balance. You have to have the balance.
I can't believe someone called me cool.
Golly. So, Matt, what do you have coming up?
Well, as I said, we've got the giveaway on Wednesday. I'd like to see people show up for that. I really want to give it away. You can see the prizes on the video there as well. And tomorrow I've got a response to Alan's top 10 this morning.
Okay, cool.
That's going tomorrow morning. And this week I did a video on Marvel comics that I've recently read, and I do a quick talk. I talk about the books that I read and some of the background to it, and that's pretty much what I've got going this week.
Okay,
and we've got Comic Con the week after, Ottawa Comic Con.
Yeah, that's going to be big. I'll actually got some to mention about that once I go about what I'm doing. Steven.
Well, I will be going on church on Sunday. I always go to Bleeker's Church. And then on Monday is our Monday special. And that's pretty much, I kind of, my 3 appearances a week are Friday hangout, and then Sunday church, and then the Monday special. And those are the ones, and the Monday special in particular although this time, because I'm here at the beach, I don't have quite the same I don't have access to my books, but I do have some stuff to show that'll be fun. But we always try to bring the very best stuff that we have on a Monday to after the weekend, and all the hubbub and everybody, all the different channels doing everything they can. Everybody's sort of decompressing on Monday. Then it's sort of we like to have an oasis where we can show a bunch of stuff and have fun. So that's kind of where we are. And I sure hope that we can get people will consider voting for us, because we do put a lot into it, into the show, to try to, bring a lot to it, to the community. And we appreciate everyone that comes.
Okay. And I'll be showing this book on Monday.
Wow. You teaser.
That's a good tease.
Okay,
but,
so that's
hey, Steven.
Yes.
Just let me say real quick that what you said is why you guys got nominated for your Monday show. You guys do such a nice job presenting the books, but also what I particularly enjoy is the knowledge that you guys have, because like learning about the history of the books you know, the books are great and I love the stories, but the history of the books is just as interesting. And you guys offer that avenue that not everybody does. I mean, some of us are just showing the books, you know, like look at this one that I bought, look at this one that I bought. And there's just another level to it when you can say things about the artist and the time that it was made
And the
and
history.
yeah, it's really cool.
That is really my mantra, has been my mantra, even from when I was much younger, because I'm a student of history, particularly the crucible of the Second World War. I was close enough to it that I was born just at the very end of the Korean War. And so when I was brought up, there was the Second World War was still very fresh in everyone's minds. Not so much Korea, but definitely World War II. And the impact that had on our country, but especially when you look at a book where there's some kid reading a book in a living room somewhere, listening to the radio, and they break in and the Normandy invasion has happened, or the Battle of the Bulge is going on, or we're bombed at Pearl Harbor, or one of those things, and so it puts the book in context. And, you know, they say, gosh, if I could only go back in time for that. But the answer is, if you went back in time to that, it wasn't fun. It was a scary time. It was not a sure thing.
Imagine.
It wasn't, the world was an incredibly unsafe place. It's unsafe now, but back then there were two major, three until Mussolini folded. But Stalin turned into the biggest mess of all of it. But all of that history, I just think that I don't know in schools what they teach. I know that one of my daughters, when they were talking about history, they barely even touch on World War II, or even they don't talk about World War I that my grandfather was in. But I mean, but all of the different things that occurred all the different things that occurred, and comic books are through it. Comic books are with you all the way through. And so the artists and the writers would then bring that to, and that's why I like to bring that out, because it means so much more. Is if you can, you know, when you watch a movie, you suspend your disbelief, and in a comic, if you can suspend your disbelief, it's the same thing. And one last thing, and in the Silver Age, Flash was my favorite. I went from the Legion of Superheroes into Flash, and the writing of Flash by John Broome and Gardner Fox, but John Broome in particular, basically he wrote the character and he breathed life into Barry Allen, who Barry Allen was, what his motivations were, how he operated, his sense of humor, his friends, and Iris West, and all that other stuff. And Carmen Infantino could take what Broome wrote and turn it into this absolutely beautiful thing. It's like a movie. It literally is like a movie. And the thing about it, in any comic book, it is a one-on-one thing. It's just, if you're in a room by yourself and you're reading this, it's just for you. It's the story, it's the writing, it's the art, all of it. It's one-on-one with you, the writer and the artist. And each month you would then have another episode where the same character comes back and has another adventure. And so maybe in Marvel, it was a lot more soap opera stuff going on in bombast, but with DC, these were people. And you had his friend Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and then at the Justice League, you go in there and you get all these different personalities come in. But there was an editorial context that they actually had. They had Julius Schwartz was basically making sure that the product stayed the right product. Today, you don't have that. There is no overarching directorial anymore. And as a result, these guys are like loose cannons. They go left, right, upside up. But back in the day, you had a story. You knew who was coming. So that when they changed the writer, or if they changed the artist, it was so jarring, because you were looking forward to see what has happened to Barry Allen. It's Captain Cold. It's Captain Boomerang. It's Heatwave. It's Gorilla Grodd. You know what is he? It's Reverse Flash. Professor Zoom, Mr. Element, Dr. Alchemy, all of these different Pied Piper, Trickster. You have all these guys, this rogues gallery, and and Mirror Master, and more often than not, it was just trying to figure out how to outsmart Flash. And they'll have a trap for him. And the difference between Flash and a lot of other, and I'll get off it. The difference between Flash and these others was that he was a thinking man. He was a guy. He was a very intelligent man who had powers. It wasn't like there was just a guy with powers who just sort of goes in and then has a berserker rage and then that's all there is to it. He actually is a thinking man. He was a scientist. So these things where he would dope it out, time travel, and then they had this the way that Infantino could do this, where Kid Flash goes, I think it's Flash 121 or 120 something, where it's a triple picture. There's Flash goes into the future, Kid Flash goes into the past, and then there's something left in the middle, and they have to try to figure out what's going on in the three. And the covers are they're classic covers all the way through. So to me, when I met Carmen Infantino, I was overcome because I couldn't express how much I appreciated what he did and how he did it, because it was a special time each time that I would then get an issue of Flash to read, that it would just take me where take me someplace. And it wasn't about the history in this one. In the Golden Age, it is about the history, and the Silver Age now there's history too. But what was going on in the world in 1961 through 1964 until Vietnam was going, it was just a very peaceful, fun. The cars were cool, the fashions were cool, the music was cool, the Beatles were there, the Beach Boys, Elvis, Led Zeppelin starting. All of this stuff was going on. I was really lucky to skateboarding, bicycles, baseball. Those are the things that was my growing up.
The original expansion in 1960s baseball. But they went from 8 to 10 teams in the 60s.
Okay.
Oh,
In each league.
JX is right. You got to have drugs.
Mhm.
Oh, jeez. So I just want to quickly answer one quick question that somebody asked, and I figured I'd show it. So this, by the way, Stephen, you recognize this one?
There you go. Very
And
good.
Stephen, polybagged. But somebody asked about the first Betty Boop book. Is this one? This is the first comic book with Betty Boop. Okay. This is from 1986. But there's earlier kind of one of these, this kind of style. This is from the 70s.
Fake.
Okay. It's not a comic book though. So that's, hopefully that helps.
Big Little Book was first from 1934, wasn't it? It wasn't 32,
Yeah.
was it, Alan? It was
1934. 34.
And that was the one where she's Gulliver's Travels, right?
Gulliver's Travels is the second one.
Number 2.
We lost Matt.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Snow White.
Gulliver's
Snow
Travels
White
is
was
number
the
2.
first.
Snow White is first. Yeah.
And then and the Gulliver's Travels was number 2. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Nate, thank you for coming. Thank you too, Matt, wherever you may be. I sure appreciate you coming and showing. I love it. I'm somewhat truncated here because I'm at the beach, but I sure enjoy. I'm sure glad you came. I'm glad you were able to come.
Yeah, I always, like I said, I always have a good time hanging out with you guys. I always learn something, and I always see something cool, and that's why and I get to hang with you're cool guys. I like to hang out with you. That's fun. Like you're just good people.
Thank you.
So just quickly, I didn't say what things I had coming up. I just want to quickly say before I let you guys all go. I have the Monday show where I'll be showing this big book over here. But actually, there's 2 other books that come with it that are also big. So
Okay.
it's bonus. So there's some pretty cool ones. One that I'm super happy. Like both are pretty awesome. Or 3, all 3. The other thing that's happening is on Sunday, if you're in the Ottawa area, I'll be doing a presentation at the Ottawa Comic-Con. And I have a room. I don't know, they gave me a room. And I'll be babbling about the The Seduction of the Innocent, and I'll be showing some pretty cool books. I'll be talking about Wortham and the whole history behind The Seduction of the Innocent and how comics almost ceased to exist. So I think it'll be a fun little talk that I'll be giving.
That sounds awesome. That's really
Very
cool.
good.
So that's if you're in the Ottawa area, and feel free to say hi to me if you're at the show. But yeah, so that's it. So again, thanks everyone for coming. Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Stephen, and thank you, Nate.
It's okay. Appreciate
so
it.
yeah, I was trying to say everybody. So yeah, thanks guys.
Yeah.
Bye everyone.
Thanks to everybody in chat.
See you
Talk to
later.
you later.